Despite the trends created by the followers of Einstein, world science is constantly returning to one scientist who stands above all other researchers and inventors. His name is Nikola Tesla. It was he who was one of the first to discover that the universe is based on the categories of energy, frequency, and vibration. Even then, at the dawn of the 20th century, he understood that everything in nature rotates and oscillates, everything has its own resonant frequency. And this means that once we can determine this frequency, bacteria, atoms, or whatever, we will be able to manipulate these objects. And now it becomes clear what the world religions were talking about. In Christianity, the world was created by the word that the Lord spoke. In the Hindu and Vedic tradition, it was a sacred sound, the original mantra, the word of power, which sounds in this tradition as Om. The Egyptians believed that the universe was sung at its creation. And the primitive people of Australia believed that the world was created with the help of three sacred songs. Again and again we hear about a certain sound, song, word, which have the properties of materializing the objects of the universe. Sound is vibration. Sound and its resonance are responsible for the creation of all things. You probably already know that sound manifests itself in a physical form, such as here. The sense lines up in symmetrical shapes depending on the frequency of vibration, that is, each frequency has its own pattern. Here, at the resonant frequency, we see a two-dimensional representation of the three-dimensional effect as the sound propagates in all directions. This is a video clip from Hans Jenny, Chematic. The word comes from the Greek word chema, meaning wave. This word refers to the physical manifestation of sound waves. See how the powder behaves on a metal plate for a long time. As a result, miniature landscapes are formed on the surface of the plate. Now imagine that earthly mountains, valleys, volcanoes can be formed in exactly the same way, but on a more impressive scale. What if all this was also created by sound coming from the vibrating earth? This is a sonoscope, a visualizer of sounds. It was developed at Sonic Age by acoustic engineer John Stewart Reid and Eric Larson, and now you can literally see what music looks like, from a single sound to a chord. Visualization is achieved with the help of a sensitive camera that captured invisible images that appear on the surface of the water, and they, in turn, are created by vibrations arising from the impact of sounds on the water. Pictures created in this way are called semiglyphs. Thanks to these unique images, we can observe how the human voice is able to create new formations. With our voice, which generates a wide variety of frequencies, we can influence the base frequency of the all-pervading energy and create anything that we can imagine. Through our voice, we become creators. And we should not forget that each of our thoughts also has its own frequency, vibration and resonance, just like our voice. Some of these semiglyphs tell us that it was the sound, the images of sound, that inspired people to create many religious symbols. These crosses within a circle in the center of some of these photographs give us a clear indication that the creators of the religious symbols knew exactly that sound itself is the source of creation. And now we understand what sound vibration is actually capable of. It is it who does almost everything that you can imagine, because it is the source of creation. And then it becomes clear why they use sound as a tool in various technologies. We know that God said, "Let there be light," and you can check it out. Connect a speaker to a light bulb and see what happens. And this is the Royal Redmond tribe, whom we know as the man who discovered the cure for all diseases with the help of sound and resonance, converted into electrical impulses. Sound continues to amaze us. Most likely, you have already seen something similar. Sound can actually make things levitate, but lifting objects now is a bit different from the technology with which the ancients raised multi-ton stone blocks. Nowadays, only pressure waves are used, which can cause very light objects to rise. But it does give you an idea of what sound is capable of on a grander scale. In 2003, two researchers filed a patent for creating hurricanes using sonic vibrations, and most likely they received this patent after all. It is possible that in this way certain people correct the weather for us, and we are not even aware of it. So now it becomes especially obvious. Nikola Tesla was right when he endowed three main categories with divine properties: energy, frequency, and vibration. Let us once again recall the important points of Scripture. God said, "Let there be light," and it happened. Moving sound appears as toroidal fields. What is torus and toroid? This is a surface obtained by rotation, forming circles around an axis that lie in the plane of this circle and do not intersect it. Sound studies have shown that moving toroidal sound fields in turn create magnetic fields, and moving magnetic fields create electricity. Here is a sequence of energy transformation. This suggests that since sound creates a magnetic field, everything must be magnetic in some way. What do these ring-shaped patterns of stones say? Now it is quite obvious that we are dealing with schematic patterns. Each such stone pattern is an image of a sound wave that emanates from the Earth at that particular point. Apparently, once these schematic patterns were created from sand or something similar on the same universal metal plate, but then they hardened and became stone flowers. However, some structures are very similar to magnetrons. These flower-shaped stone circles with their shape hint that they could be built as giant ancient magnetrons. Don't forget that a tiny magnetron can create so much energy in a laser beam that it cuts metal in a fraction of a second, literally melting it. Magnetic scientists calculated how much energy a magnetron with a diameter of 40 meters would produce, and it turned out that it can create more energy than all power plants on Earth combined. And by the way, there are thousands of such magnetrons in South Africa alone. Scientists have measured the sound frequencies, electromagnetic fields, decibel volume that these stone magnetrons are capable of radiating, and found that this energy is simply amazing. If you want to master the method of how to manage your energy vibrations and control your life reality, come to study. At our International Personality Development Center, we have been teaching students from all over the world for over 12 years. NATALIA RODINA is a scientist, academician, psychologist and parapsychologist, and a researcher who has been studying the possibilities of human consciousness and the subtle energies of space for more than 20 years. I want to share with you the methods of developing consciousness and controlling reality. They reveal the nature of the Creator in you, and this is your energy nature, your superconsciousness, the higher self. By revealing this hidden power, you discover new superpowers in yourself to completely control the events of your life, your health, and your inner state. Sign up for the online course and start practicing.